Welcome to episode 24 of the Prosperity on Air podcast. I'm Paola De Vescovi, your host. And today with me, we have another amazing woman, another amazing speaker at the Women Who Dare to Desire conference taking place in London on the 31st of January 2020. So with me today, we have Sharon Eden. She's a registered and accredited psychotherapist, member of the British Association for Counselling and Psychotherapy, with over 30 years of successful private practice in the field. And she also holds a master's degree. She is the Wild Elder, a psychotherapist-alchemist-guide who inspires women who don't want to die with a wasteful life so that they can manifest what they desire in a non-bullshit way. We will be speaking about many things. And first of all, of course, I will ask her what a psychotherapy alchemist guide is. I'm very curious. We will be speaking about energy, how to get in touch with your inner wisdom or intuition, and how her approach, her alchemist approach, really helps to get deeper result. She will give us a shortcut to get in touch and get the most out of this inner wisdom that we all have inside of us and that can guide us, especially lead us towards what is important to us, that helps us manifest what we want to create in life. She will also give us a tip on how to align ourselves with this inner wisdom. We will be speaking about the importance of aligning with your purpose, because this really allows you to make sense of everything in your life. She will be speaking of courage that is not about having or feeling no fear, but it is about to feel the fear, but be undeterred, in her words. So I'm very honored to have Sharon in today's episode. So without any further ado, let's listen to today's interview with Sharon Eden. Sharon, thank you very much for being with me today.
Pleasure.
I have already said something about you for our listeners, but I would like you to say something about who you are, what you do, who you work with.
Okay. Have you got 3,000 years?
I wish I had.
So I'm Sharon Eden, the Wild Elder, and I'm a psychotherapist-alchemist-guide who works with women who don't want to die with a wasted life to manifest what they desire in a no bullshit way. And I work with women, generally they're around 40 plus, but I've certainly worked with younger women in my time. I do that mainly online because I work with people all over the world and it works best for them too. And the way I work is powerful, rich, and kind of reaches the parts other beers don't reach. And I don't hang about. Women's lives are far too precious to be wasted in ongoing therapy or coaching or whatever it is. And that's the way I work.
Tell me what exactly a psychotherapist alchemist guide is.
Now, there's a question.
Yes.
So I trained, way back in the early 80s. I trained for 7 years to become a psychotherapist. And I did that work for quite a long time. And around 5-6 years ago, I was aware that I was using a different energy. It was psychotherapy, and it was more than psychotherapy. So I explored and I discovered energetic work, alchemic work, which transforms like poof. You know, you've got an issue, we work with it, boom, 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 and you can transform it. Core beliefs that run you into the ground, great. We'll work with them, we turn it around, we neutralize it, and then you embed a new creative positive belief. So that's just a taste of it. And guide, because I'm not the expert. The women I work with are the experts, and I've been trained with all of my being, body, feeling, mind, oomph, whatever you believe your oomph is. I've been trained to listen out to the clues that who I work with give me as to where we need to work and how we need to work. So pack it all together, and it's a pretty powerful bundle.
Okay, so you are saying that there was something more than psychotherapists that you were naturally using. So are you working a lot with energy?
Yes, I am. I am working with energy.
I would like, if you don't mind, I would like to explain the fact that we are energy and that we live in an energy field.
Absolutely.
To our listeners, can we discuss a little bit this?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, we're a very limited receiver, right? Like dogs can hear higher frequencies of sound than we can. So we're limited. I mean, fabulous spacesuit that we've got. However, energetically, there's so much more going on around you. We're also electrical beings. We give out electrical impulses. We also have aura. There's a universe with all the energy that's flying around in the universe. We have human abilities that we've lost, because as children, we can come in with psychic abilities, auric abilities, everything. But we learn pretty quickly that that's not acceptable. Don't do that. And so we shove them away. And I think in my work as a psychotherapist, I was working in such a profound way. It just helped open me up. So, for example, I can receive information that the client hasn't told me and hasn't hinted at or anything very easily. Yesterday I had an example. I was working with somebody who, bless her, unfortunately was sexually abused as a child, and lovely woman. And I picked up something which I won't say here because it's private to her.
Of course.
And I picked up something and I just said to her, look, this is what I'm getting. Does that mean anything to you? And it was spot on. It was what she needed somebody else to know without having to tell them. And that in itself is healing.
Yes. Do you also help your clients to use more their intuition and the hunches that they receive Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I teach everyone I work with to access what I call their inner wisdom.
Yes.
And that I always say to them, focus deep down into your belly. That's where it lies. And other people would call that intuition. However, it's more than intuition. It's more than hunches. It really is. I believe it is our inner wisdom. Part of the messaging that we can get from what I call our wild soul, that's really there, that knows us more than we know ourselves, and knows exactly what's right for us and not right for us.
You started as, let's say a traditional psychotherapist.
Yeah.
And then you realized you were using more than that. And then, of course, I imagine that you studied and improved.
Yes.
And you added to what you were using spontaneously. The moment you started to use more this side, the alchemist side, into your work, what were the major results that you could observe in your clients?
Oh, well, it depends on the client and what their evolutionary, what their soul's urging them to express, what their evolution is. So one of the things that I think applied to all clients is that this being able to know what they haven't told me. And Jung, I think a lot of people would have heard about Jung way back, one of the fathers of psychology, really. He said that there's a space between the client and the therapist where the two unconsciouses meet and exchange information, which is a lovely way of explaining it. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest impact for all clients, because immediately they're heard, they're understood. They don't have to explain. And being held and heard and understood in itself is healing, if it's therapy we're working at, but also really helps the process of people moving forward and on with their life, because it's all about expansion. It's all about becoming more of who you really are instead of who you were trained to be.
And when one's become more what he or she is, what happens? What happens in their lives? What do you observe?
Oh dear. What happens? Well, again, it depends on the client and what stage of evolution they are at. So they begin, if they haven't before, they have a sense of agency. They begin to feel themselves as a powerful creator in the world, that actually they can create their lives rather than have their lives happen to them. For some people, it means opening up to their heart, that they've lived in a very cut-off, dry, mental way. It just depends what the wounds are and what they bring when I first see them.
Sharon, can we give our listeners a couple of suggestions so that they can start and get in touch with this inner wisdom that they possess?
Okay, I sure can. So the first is a little exercise that you can do. So you sit comfortably in a chair, both feet on the ground, relax everything, take a few breaths, and then focus right down into your belly, deep, deep down. Even just incline your head a little as if you're looking there. And you just take your few deep breaths and breathe. And trust in your own wisdom, you can ask it a question, whatever question you want to. Now, the answer might not come logically. You might get a picture, a sound, a sensation. Take whatever you get, because if you don't understand it in the moment, you will in hours or days to come. And finally, if you get nothing, hooray! Just sit there and enjoy nothing.
Because also that nothing helps.
Absolutely. People meditate their asses off to get there. If you get the nothing, enjoy it. Peace, quiet, nothing. And another tip, now, which of my delicious tips can I give you now? Yeah, another tip, even when you're going through bad things or a difficult time in your life, a tip is to keep telling yourself, everything is happening in my favor. Now that might sound, what on earth is she talking about? And actually, there are lessons and learnings. It's like we have to go through these times to grow. And if you keep telling yourself, everything is working in my favor, you're aligning yourself more with your inner wisdom, more with your wild soul, and you are likely to have growth messages during that time, however hard it is.
You said something really beautiful that I resonate with, because I mean it's so much in line with my work, that you want really to help and inspire women to
not to
manifest their desire. You don't want them to die with a wasted life.
Absolutely.
So you help them to go after their dreams, their desires, their life they want. And
even if they don't know what their desires are when they come to me.
Yeah, so you help them discover this desire. So if they come with no clue about what their desire may be. And sometimes what I notice, I see many clients of mine who have these, dreams that they've set aside forever, and they are afraid of going after them, or in any case, there's always somebody else they put first and they come last, okay, which is pretty common in women.
Yes.
But one concern that often comes up with them is, they are afraid that once they are all into their dream and they go after it, their life can be, their life as it is can be destroyed, and the people will leave them so what do you say to your clients when they manifest, when they express this concern?
Okay. Again, it depends on the woman, what I know about her and all of that. But the first thing I tell them is, sweetheart, it is not going to happen overnight. So your life is not going to change in 1 second. The second thing is, sometimes you'll be changing inside. And sometimes people won't even notice that. You notice that. Now, when you are manifesting what you desire, you learn that you have choices. So if you're in a crap marriage, right, you have a choice. You can choose to leave or do something about it, or you can choose to stay. It's absolutely your choice. So for me, there is nothing to fear. What happens, I think, sometimes is a part of a woman will go, I don't deserve that, or I can't have that. And nobody is going to still love me and like me. The truth is, you will still be loved and liked. If it's not by the same people, it's because you've outgrown the ones that you are worried about right now.
Yeah, and this doesn't mean that you don't love them anymore, or
No,
you will continue to love them, but they will be less around you.
that absolutely. It's
Yeah.
that, you know, when you change your energy, who you are and what you desire in life, you don't have to say a word. Those people who aren't aligned with the new you will drop away.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the wild elder.
Oh dear, so gorgeous. It's a very long story, so I'll keep it very brief.
Okay, but we have time to listen to your story. I
Okay.
love stories.
Well, this was a few years ago,
Mhm.
after my mum passed away, and there was a lot that went in there that I've taken and will tell another time. But what happened was I felt a block in me, that something was holding me back, and I knew that I had so much more to do, but this block just that kind
Yeah,
of feeling.
I know the feeling.
So I thought to myself, no, I do not want a counsellor. I do not want a psychotherapist. I do not want a coach. And it's a long story how I actually found this woman. I actually saw somebody's marketing, contacted her. When I actually spoke to her, she was no way like her upbeat marketing. And she told me basically I wasn't the right client for her because her programs were an extortionate amount for 6 months. I won't even say it here. But she directed me to another woman who also worked alchemically. And during the process of that, I had worked on a block inside out for years in my life, upside down, sideways, blah, 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 blah. And it was about because my sister was a special one in my family and I wasn't, well, I couldn't shine. She had to be the special one. Well, working with this woman, it was like kapow! In one session, that gone, totally gone, transformed, alchemized. So I continued to work with her for 3 months. And during that process, the name, my new reincarnation, the name for my reincarnation was a download. Just, you know, it just plopped in and it was the Wild Elder. And because I'm 71, and
Congratulations.
thank you, isn't it wonderful? I'm so glad I've reached this age. It just fitted perfectly. And because, of course, I'm not same old, same old. I'm not your average 71 year. I say I have 70 years of grace. I don't say I'm 70, so 71 actually now, but I don't say I'm 71 years old. I have 71 years of grace.
Or you are 71 years young. Yes.
That's true. So again, what was happening in that work was I was helping myself be absolutely aligned with my wild soul and what I've come here to do on earth. I always say that our biggest wound is our biggest gift to the world. And so since way back in the early 80s when I discovered my purpose, my mission on earth, I've done different manifestations of it. However, being the Wild Elder and doing this work, I feel as if I've been in apprenticeship all my life for being the Wild Elder and doing this work.
Well, that's an amazing story. And I think it's the moment you really are aligned with your purpose. You understand very clearly. You have no doubts whatsoever about what your purpose is. I think it's so liberating, energizing. Everything makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. Totally, Paula.
Yeah. And this is how everyone should be able to live, knowing what the purpose is.
For sure, this is how everyone could live.
Yes.
And it's up to people like you and me to serve those who are attracted to us, who come our way, and help them.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm feeling touched as I'm talking to you.
Sharon, what is a message that you want to share with our listeners? Something, that can be something that triggers something in them so that they can, really be prompted to do something, to discover the purpose, work on themselves, be more in touch with their inner wisdom.
Sure. So, makes me want to cry when you say that. Yeah. What I'd say is have courage. Courage is not about not feeling fear. It's about feeling fear and yet being undeterred. So have courage. Find someone who can help you grow into the magnificent woman you really are. And if you feel that you're a magnificent woman already, that's fabulous. But hey, woman, there are layers and layers and layers of magnificence that you can explore. And I'm still doing it.
Yeah, yes. It's our life journey.
Yeah.
To go through all these layers, isn't it?
Absolutely, Paula.
Sharon, I thank you so much for being with me today. And for our listeners, Sharon is one of the beautiful speakers at the Women Who Dare to Desire event taking place in London on the 31st of January. I will put all the links to the event and all the links to get in touch with Sharon in the show notes of this episode. So thank you again for being with me today.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure, Paula. I've loved speaking with you. Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person.
Yay!
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.